lie. Oh, 20 million and 28 million. Lie. Me not take no salary increase. So my salary is what it was before. And I tell you something, I feel like just keep back to. Because he's a proud man, you know. Me don't like people tell lie for me. That is why we did something like the reverse tax credit. Never before in Jamaica's history, where the government is giving back to people who earn less than $3 million per year. Never before happened. That's a way in which we are making sure that the dividends of the good economic management reaches to the people. Yes, good economic management can yam.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You that chop line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. COVID money, miss away, eat the your little rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste and bust a man to statue. Say me like a catch you, but they got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, got and say that is not you. One day the man above him, up him, I got to too much. It in the kitchen, some of my well like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% free.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption cease.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out with beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again.
Wagwan family. Manners and respect. Andrew done, you know. Yeah, man, him done. No matter where I go on with him done, people. My damaged goods. And the longer the labor right have him on, and the more war them have among each other. Believe me. The longer the labor, you know, good over the Labour Party, you know, watch ya.
You, the two daughters of Pernell Charles, Uno two is on a campaign to mash up the party because you endorse some jankro who no mean the party no good and if you stop it.
Me say, the longer when I have this a brother here, I drive the bus. And the worst the party gonna be. The country a mash up. Me already play Dr. Dawes earlier exposing Tufton handing off the healthcare system. Everybody a fat them pocket and I do them own business and they don't care about the people. I believe that people must go to prison. Now, all your Andrew walk around, the economy bad people, country broke, road now fix. And Dr. Dawes said the healthcare system is gonna get worse. Things bad, people. Andrew walk around want to fool we. I talk about economy. You end up on the economy again. You don't need to talk about your size if you're all right with your size. Those of us men we know say we're all right with your size. We don't go around and boasting about the size that we have. No. You're comfortable with the size we have. So with the Prime Minister going around talking about the economy, no, it's very uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And with the poll Gallup gone left him. With Mark Golden, seems as if him Gallup gone left him in the poll because a long time for my platform, I do videos and I say Mark Golden have the momentum. Anybody who follow me from long time? From Facebook? Mark Golden has the momentum. And from the get up a bus park, him not stop moving forward. him catch up such man and him pass him. It's clear, everybody can see it. Mark Golding has the momentum. You need to go back and obey a man for no money, no matter what you do. You not go win, you know. You not go work. Me tell you a long time. Galang back and Mr. Man there for no money. Because everything you do is just pure saltness. Me not go around the thing. It not go work. We could have huff and puff and blow fire. Char iron. Andrew Onis done. Me tell the labor at them long time, say, all right then. Give me somebody else. Give me somebody who we can trust. Jamaicans cannot trust the Prime Minister. Him words no mean nothing to nobody. I cannot trust the Prime Minister of Jamaica. I cannot trust his words. I cannot trust his action. I don't trust him signing any deals on behalf of the country. Because all I'm thinking about is his 28 accounts, and anything him sign, I got to end up with them 28 accounts. All I'm here thinking about is accounts in a mother name and father name and money I run through it like a what. Yeah, all these things me I think about. So when the Prime Minister come talk about the economy and this and that, the people now feel it. We still see the road look bad. You talk about economy, you can't boast about the economy and the place look bad. You can't boast about the economy and police are not getting paid. People, police haven't been getting steady pay since I don't know when. So now we have the courthouse where them can't even find toilet, figure P and D. We see hole in the floor of the courthouse. We see ceilings are leak and water pitch through. We see that. Them don't even have clerk of the court, lawyers, judge. Them don't have no way to go relieve themselves. And this government keep talking about the economy. Show me. Show me. Municipal building. I just did a video the other day. Hanover municipal building. The whole of the roof a drop out. Mold in the building. Pan the wall. I did another video about Clarendon Ministry of Labor building. It's not good for human being. It's not good for human being. I just did a video on that. Nothing now fix. Nothing ain't fixing around here, people. All the courthouses in Jamaica want to fix. Linseed courthouse out of service. A church them in a church. Them I use church for court. And I talk about the economy. Man, stop lying to the people, Andrew Ones. Stop lying to the people. You are a liar. I cannot trust the Prime Minister of Jamaica. He is a liar. He is now under investigation for illicit enrichment, tax evasion, tax fraud, and all type of stuff. And you have a Prime Minister in the office here. And we also have a crooked Attorney General. She at about say how they must scrap the Integrity Commission. Now, everybody was investigated by the same commission, but when is the Prime Minister time to get investigated for his crime, everybody, she come out and say she wanted scrap. So that tells me that she corrupt. Attorney General is a corrupt woman in my book. I look at her as corrupt because that Rimple get rough up. She lost her job as Speaker of the House and as MP. And the same Attorney General never come out and say she want to scrap this thing. Integrity Commission Act, right? Darrell Vaz, Dwayne Vaz. You have Darrell Vaz, Dwayne Vaz. You have Montague. You have J.C. Hutchison. You have the chaplain of the house. You got Ian Eels and even Bunting. They were all investigated by the Integrity Commission. All of them feel embarrassed. And that Rimple, she get the worst so far. She lose her job, Speaker of the House, and as MP in her constituency. So now, how come the Attorney General never find anything wrong with the Integrity Commission Act until they reach to the Prime Minister? We don't go with the nonsense, man. The man is just tainted and nobody can stand him right now. You hear me talk about say people want him dead and all type of nonsense. The big old man, I walk around and talk nonsense. Now look at this, people. That's what I tell you, not gonna lose, man. Because Andrew Ones is gonna drag the party and he might drag down other MP with him would have probably survive the election and keep them seat. But you see, through Andrew Honest, we're not going to lose big time. So the poll go up, 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 up. It now go down. Take it from me. Me not be a man, but me can see things. Now people in the Gleaner today, ancillary workers at Supreme Court upset over late pay. When you listen this to backside. Look how they do the people them. Ancillary workers, remember, did that, you know, them strike or them go up and go slow because of the bad condition of the courthouse. Yeah. Fortnightly workers at the Supreme Court are appealing to the relevant authorities to address the ongoing problem of late payment of salaries and a country I run, man. You want bet politicians' salary in a late? Them 300%? The disgruntled ancillary workers say this has happened on several occasions throughout this year, with the latest occurrence being the current pay period. We are to be paid every other Friday. But when we went to our banks on Friday last week, the salaries were not paid, one worker said. You can imagine that? You can imagine that, people. And nobody no give them no notice or nothing at all. People, imagine that. Imagine Friday come, you forget to pay a fortnight. You probably trust, you have big plans. Yeah? You understand me? You come home, your wife say, stop and get one chicken there when they way home. All right, baby, get a jug of oil there too. All right. When they go there, money in the day, daddy bring me one ice cream when I come here. All right, baby, may I come home. Not $1 a day in the account. And what I know government, these people. The country run chaka chaka, the country broke. Me I tell you already, a long time I called it out from that $92 billion that was allocated, them say, for the Ministry of National Security. And when them have about a couple of months for them to lose the money because it don't roll over at the end of the fiscal year, them not spend less than quarter. No, they won't go spend less than quarter of the money when police need it. So me I say, is it that them not have the money? Them just call some big numbers, right? So them have disallocated to that about $1 billion, but a lie. The billions of dollars not allocated nowhere. Everything is a lie. I don't believe a number or a letter coming from this government. Let's read. They complain that they will now have to wait until today or perhaps tomorrow to be paid, and that this is not fair to them. Mirated. One of the workers pointed out that up till 10 a.m. today, she went to the bank, but her salary was not in her account. Can you imagine? I work 2 weeks at Jamaica. You're broke, you know? You don't have the money. Can you find 2 weeks worth of salary before you get taxi fare and bus fare before you come to work? Yeah? Food for 2 weeks, spitting out of school. We just want to remind those responsible for processing our pay that some of us have loans that attract interest. We have families to feed and bills to pay. So efforts must be made for us to be paid on time, another worker emphasized. People never hear that yet? Yeah, man, under this government, man, police strike for the first time. Air traffic controller walk off a job, plane can't land. Immigration worker tap way. Eh? The workers feel that the late payment, which is taking place too frequently, is plain lack of respect and care for staff. That is true. Them don't give a damn not now Jamaican and run good people. We just do the last video that show you already, you know, with Dr. Dawes, you know, that show you say not now go on to Jamaica, you know. So you don't believe that a government like this crime a fight? No crime now fight. No crime now fight. That's why you there with can't do anything. So with the gun, them at Jamaica is like the country is left to free fall. Is left to die. According to the workers on previous occasions, they had queried the reason for the late payments, but so far they have not been given a satisfactory answer. The affected workers include some members of the clerical staff, ancillary workers, and judges' orderlies. The affected workers include some members of the clerical staff, ancillary workers, and judges' orderlies. The workers say they are calling for the relevant authorities to ensure that they are paid on time because the jobs they perform are essential to the justice system. Them do have a place we go PP and do the people. My God, the country not run good. Such man for step away, man. Such man for step, me not lie you. And I know such man are doing the people. And I know such man I do him I do, people. A long time the brother I do him I do, If you can know this man I do him I do. The corrupt, then it's tough and they look like him I run a corrupt ministry over there in the health ministry. Eh? Them go buy the cheap ass thing them at China, right? Medical equipment and come up and mark it up 1,000%. Imagine you get 1,000% profit. 1,000% profit, people. Think about that. Eh? Jesus. And such man I walk around the world, I talk about him not declaring an asset. I got 4 years now, him not declaring an asset, As his asset cannot be verified, rather. His statutory declaration cannot be verified. I got 4 years now, I'm man sit down in the office and I talk about this and that, Me and I talk about corruption and FinSac and all that. He not have the right to talk about no FinSac, Because this prime minister name no good out here, So I'm going to remind him, say him name no good. So him not have no right to talk about FinSac. Yeah? I could talk about you and your bag of corruption. Now you on 28 account and your money run your family name and all them things there. What do you, man?
So there are 2 separate investigations that emanated from the Prime Minister's statutory declarations. I want you to discuss that first and tell us what were those 2 separate investigations. One relates to the omission of information for which the Director of Corruption Prosecution ruled, and then the second investigation was around illicit enrichment.
Well, I would say on the 4 accounts, there were 2 related to his parents put his name on, one with a former constituency manager and another one. Now, it's important to look at the detail. The Director of Investigation said he brought to Mr. Holness's attention on 3 occasions that his name was in fact on the accounts. And in spite of that, Mr. Holness did not declare those as part of his declaration. Secondly, and even more importantly, the Director of Investigation found that in 2 of those accounts, monies were flowing through the accounts from accounts solely controlled by Mr. Holness and 2 accounts solely controlled by Mr. Holness. So in essence, he's saying Mr. Holness said he knew nothing about these accounts, but funds are flowing in the region of millions of dollars. Deposits put in today, taken out the following week. 2 accounts controlled solely by him. So the question is, was Mr. Holness being truthful when he said, well, it's my parents' account and I don't know anything about it?
Prime Minister, we remember for your crime them in the boss. These things, why you're dropping at the poll, you're too corrupt for sit down in the office. Every day you sit down in the office as Prime Minister, the country gonna get worse and the poll are gonna get worse. The confidence is gonna go down for the Labour Party because we just believe everybody there on the bus is just one corrupt bunch. You mean to say nobody on the bus can say, driver, pull over, they make a change driver, let me drive. You mean to say nobody on the bus? Everybody does corrupt, sir. A long time the driver corrupt, And me have to remind him about his corruption today. It's long time this man corrupt. And now the man new corruption and now what we just hear about. But hold on there. Make we listen again. Because we never know say you have so much money and you take from your charity. You have so much money and you poor people, you have a charity, and you use the goddamn charity money for yourself by stocks, bro. Me not trust the Prime Minister. You're not credible. You have no integrity. Your integrity dead. Not a good man with a good character. I don't trust the Prime Minister walking around here signing out deals on behalf of who? Yourself? That's all I'm going to think about. You sign it on behalf of your 28 bank account, your family, your mother and your father account and all them things there. How you believe how you feel, bro?
This is actually one of the more disturbing features because what the investigation of the Integrity Commission has revealed is that funds were used from a charity. It's called Positive Foundation, Positive Jamaica Foundation. A charity which, by definition, would have charitable purposes. and some funds in the region of approximately $32,000 US dollars were diverted to pay for a bond in the name of Mr. Honus.
Or his company, his personal company.
And I believe at some point it may have been either in his or his personal holding company, which he owns 100%. And it remained in that form for the life of the bond until it was called. And it was only after the bond had been redeemed and that transaction was now, in a sense, extinct.
Is it reasonable
Closed. That, just allow me to finish, that upon questioning by the director of investigation that an attempt was made to repay that charitable foundation. So approximately 4 years had elapsed when the funds from the charitable foundation had been used to partially pay for a bond in the name of or for the benefit of Mr. Honus.
And the interest payments on the bond went into him or his personal company's account. And it's only when the Integrity Commission itself looked into this thing and said, hey, but some of the funding for this, $32,000 US of the $94,000 US cost of the bond, came from a charity with which Mr. Honus is very closely associated and is a director. That the necessary rearrangements of the thing were done and the money was returned to the charity. So for several years, he declared that bond as being his or his company's, and he received the payments under that bond.
So people think I know this, our brother do it. You think I know him, I do. A long time I do it, people. So we are go back there today, you know. We're going to remind people who this brother is, you know. Because if they think, say, Andrew Honus, I go sit down in there and do a third term and I declare an asset for 4 years, and that is okay. Eh? That's not okay. No, sir. People, we could do this. We are going to 18 degrees north and Andrew Honus. 18 degrees north already tell you who Andrew Honus is already. So them a new sitting there where we are talking about here, so, and both money and all that. And what about the part where the Prime Minister open bank account with no money in it and all them thing there? You understand me? A little shadiness there. The big old Prime Minister boss. How about this here?
Prime Minister and party leader, Andrew Honus.
Is what happened to borrowed money. Now, the other transaction which concerned me was the one where the account was opened at NCB. Mm-hmm. It was opened with no money in it. And I didn't know you could open an account with no money in it.
Is the man of integrity.
A couple of days later, there was a deposit of a little over 143,000 US dollars, which came from SSL.
In full support
of the best Prime Minister. And in the context of the discussions which we have been having about SSL, I believe that the Prime Minister needs to address this and explain how and why that money came into his account from SSL.
And I am very lucky
to have an outstanding Prime Minister.
It was deeply concerning to me, and I'm sure that it must be deeply concerning to all the people who not only lost money, but know people who lost money. And you know the number one concern is what happened to borrowed money.
A leader that we can be so proud of.
The transformation. I just gave away 87 black tanks.
Is the best we have had.
A long time the Prime Minister go on with film sitting in him. I talk about FinSac. A long time I go along with the film sticky fingerness, you know. A long time people. And I just know. Remember Zara Burton do a report on him, you know. And him no stop. Him no learn him lesson. At the same investigation, what she did, started the last investigation on him where expose him when he was at the Ministry of Education. Directing business to him, basically him own business where him friend and him cumble and him wife and all Nigel Clark name calling at the report to, you know. Them deep peer corruption surround this brother there. So when they see the Integrity Commission come here now and I do their work again, him go like say, nothing to see here, I lie them, I tell them, I'm mash up me reputation and them I try frame me. Eh? The report out there already in the first time I go on with this. All news. So make we get back to Zara Burton. Anthem. This is the anthem, you know. This is the anthem right now about to play for you guys. Zara Burton, 18 degrees north. Go check out that station there. Go support the woman. Go support her hard work because she no normal. She no normal. And she not just one-sided with her report. Mark Golding get licked. Andrew Holness get licked. But listen here, people. Because such man are going to keep honest, you know. Boy must send the Integrity Commission. He must go quote with this and quote with that. Remember, he also sued Zara Burton, you know, try to shut this down, you know. This report I'm about to play, Andrew, try to sue, take her down on the TV station so this don't come a road. Me say, Mr. Lack of transparency, try to shut this report down. Zara Burton pushed on through. I'm going to play it now because the world need to hear this, you know, who we have in the office. And the labor they need to know so them have a damaged goods we can't come back. You can't come back, brother, because you have man like me and others out there like-minded bloggers who are going to make sure say the most corrupt leader in the history of Jamaica don't come back in the office. That's my job. You can't not declare no asset boy for 4 years. Forget everything else. Forget your parents' account. Forget say I take money for your own charity. Forget say SSL money going to account where you open and put no money for open it. Forget all of that. Make us talk about your asset, bro. Forget everything else. Let's talk about the statutory declaration. Big old Prime Minister, sir. It's going 4 years now. We passed the 3. It's going 4 years now. Your statutory declaration cannot be verified. You think me want a man like that to be my Prime Minister? You think me want a man who me can trust with money to be my Prime Minister? See him and the tax people them in a Cumberland now, him on an investigation. See him on an investigation for tax fraud. Do you think we want a fraudster to be my Prime Minister? Your Prime Minister is under investigation for illicit enrichment. Same goddamn investigation that scammers under. Illicit enrichment is gaining wealth by criminal means. It tells that the wealth what you gain where you cannot give account for, you get it by criminal means. That means say you're a criminal. So do you think I want a criminal mind to be my Prime Minister, people? So the part of the argument we hear him talk about when I got quote before me go further. Before me go further, you know, I'm going to play something I want labor right say, you know. I want labor right explain what this brother doing. I want labor right this, you know. What this young man. You know, can't ramp with Gen Z, you know, Generation Z. They're not normal. So listen what about a Gen Z mouth. And he say it was a labor right.
We all see what's happening with Andrew and the Integrity Commission. So let me explain it to you as best as I can in layman's terms based on what my understanding of the article and the documents that I've read are. So essentially, Andrew Holness and his wife owned a number of companies. In their earnings reports over the last few years, there are some inconsistencies in the growth of their earnings and their net worth and assets and deposits. So essentially, what the Integrity Commission is now saying is that in order for them to certify his earnings, they would need to have a further breakdown of his expenditures and expenses for each of the companies. So they would need that in order to then go ahead and certify and say he's okay. So essentially, Andrew is saying that he's not willing to give them that because that is a breach of his privacy. So what he is now challenging is a portion of anti-corruption legislation, saying that is unconstitutional because what they're asking for does not protect his privacy. And everything that's in the Constitution, such as the right to privacy, it takes precedence, meaning that it supersedes anything that comes after, such as like anti-corruption legislation. So if, in essence, it breaches his constitutional right for privacy, then he does somewhat have a case. Now, I'm a huge supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party. Everybody knows this. However, at this juncture, I'm not able to continue to make excuses for the Prime Minister. what he is attempting to do is actually quite disgraceful and disappointing. Years from now, we will look back at the Andrew Holness tenure and be disgusted at some of the things that we have allowed to happen. Now, while I have genuine love for Andrew and I think he is much better of a leader than the opposition, I think that there are a lot of blunders that have happened in his leadership. The Prime Minister's wife being in representational politics has always caused ethical concerns. The fact that he snuck her in as a member of Parliament and then promoted her to Speaker of the House is highly inappropriate. And while I don't question her effectiveness, as I think she's excelled in both roles, it's definitely always been a conflict of interest. While I've traditionally supported the Jamaican Labour Party and Andrew Holness and his administration, I think that it would be in very good taste if he just gave them what they wanted. It would also show that he respects the Integrity Commission and the anti-corruption legislation. The fact that he's going to these lengths to not comply with their requests shows that he has a lot to hide.
Has a lot to hide. Guys, want to hear that? Gen Z, Labour right. I'm a Labour right. And disgust at the Prime Minister. And every one of them a fool. He's an educated young man. So let's hear what Zara Burton have to say. We are go back there now because the Prime Minister going like, but let me say something real quick. Now, what the Prime Minister try to do is like, say this scammer them get caught by police and police are go through their phone and their bank account to find out their illicit enrichment. Okay, so when the police grab a scammer, they might go to their phone, they might check out their account, they might go through everything. So what if the scammer did come up and say the same thing like the Prime Minister say, they might violate him constitutional rights? I don't think they might violate the constitutional rights when they might investigate a crime. Don't it, people? Don't it? Don't police go through your phone. Sometimes they come in your yard, come take away your laptop. Don't me see all the feds do that up us all the time, people. Come in your yard, come take away all the electronics, paperwork, gone with it in a box and sitting. Right? So you can't say, oh, you're violating my constitutional rights to privacy. So that's a stupid game where Andrew Holness I try to play and think say him can slide with that. Andrew Holness is damaged goods. And we vloggers will make sure that Andrew Holness don't go back in. That's my job. It's too corrupt. It's not because me a PNP. I am not. But give me somebody better now. Labour right. He hold on up on the bus just dirty, so. Give me somebody better. Nobody in the Labour right party. You see, uno damage the whole party. Because we remember uno. We remember say nobody on the bus stand up and do the right thing. We will remember nobody on the bus stand up and did the right thing. Nobody on the bus, gentle people, stand up and did the right thing. Nobody. You know? So we gotta remember Uno. And the longer Andrew Holness stay as the driver of the bus and none of Uno say nothing, stay quiet, and the worse the country gonna be, and the reputation of Jamaica got dragged in the dirt. So Andrew Holness is nasting up the reputation of Jamaica and pumping money into company from Spain to fix up the reputation of Jamaica. Make sense out of that? Andrew Holness and his own and his minions them around him, nasting up the reputation of Jamaica, but using taxpayers' money when I come out and pocket it, because him not pay taxes. Using taxpayers' money to pay a company in Spain to rebrand Jamaica. Jamaica don't need that, you know. But them boys just love to waste our money instead of spending it on the poor, them throw it away or put it in them pocket or thief it. You just hear what I go on the healthcare a while ago. You just hear the video where Alfred Dawes come out and expose Tufton operation at the Ministry of Health. You just hear that. That should be played over and over. I mean, I don't play that yet. Make we listen what Zara Burton tell we about Wagwan and a long time the man hand. People, you see my go on now and come go on like him I got court right now. No. Zara Burton tell me about you already. She exposed you already. Let's listen. Big up yourself, Zara Burton. Uno go check out 80 Degrees North.
Every poor man must build his castle. Every poor man must build in big house.
He became Jamaica's newest prime minister, despite controversy about his big house.
Join us in a partnership for prosperity.
We uncover a trail of property purchases and ask, is Andrew Honus paying his part?
Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
What the Prime Minister didn't want you to know before the election. And later, Honus sounds the warning of corruption to his new cabinet.
Corruption will not be tolerated in this government.
But does his own record raise questions when it comes to awarding public contracts?
When each side is in government, there are uncomfortable levels of awarding of contracts to persons who are either political supporters, campaign financiers, or other connected parties.
We reveal how Honus signed off on taxpayer money for a contract to his associates on this episode of 18 Degrees North.
Long time we have been people. Long time. We going from Prime Minister.
"18 Degrees North" is brought to you by.
If you're like me,
Or me, you work with FGD.
My students are learning
I
to
don't want
find.
you to come to me with that foolishness, you know. You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want labor rights carry that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.
Or
You
me,
man that talk all kind of lie. Oh, 20 million and 28 million. Lie. Me not take no salary increase. So my salary is what it was before. And I tell you something, I feel like just keep back to. Because he's a proud man, you know. Me don't like people tell lie for me.
Welcome back, guys. Make we listen to Zara Burton. Oh, this brother are crooked. From before him turned Prime Minister. She catch him with the hand in a cookie jar, you know, Zara Burton, you know. But he no stop. He no stop. He still a go on a seat there now. He get exposed there now by Integrity Commission. Yeah? And an investigation for tax fraud, illicit enrichment, all type of fault. Yeah? Because he won't stop people. Make we listen how Zara Burton expose him.
Hello, I'm Zara Burton, and welcome to 18 Degrees North. It's from right here in Kingston, Jamaica, 18 degrees north of the equator, where every week we're going to take you on a global journey with us as we focus on Caribbean stories that have global impact. We begin our show with Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus. During the 2016 general elections, his house became front and center. The public, and perhaps more so the ruling People's National Party, they wanted to know why a St. Lucian company owned his house and where he got the money, since news reports had put its value at about $2 million, a figure Honus has not confirmed. After all, Honus had been a politician most of his professional life, didn't come from money, and his salary at the time was just over $60,000 each year, not counting allowances. Honus answered several of the questions asked, but we at 18 Degrees North had others. What we found was an interesting series of property purchases and an uneven playing field when it comes to personal tax matters. It also shed light on the relationship between Jamaican politicians and their associates in the awarding of public contracts. We're staying right here in Jamaica at 18 degrees north and 77 degrees west.
Thief! Thief! Back him up! Back him up! Hold him! Hold him! Grab him! Back him up! Back him up! Thief! Thief! Back! Yo, grab the boy there for me! Yo, grab! Thief! Thief!
The
Labour Party believe that every poor man must build his castle. Every poor man must build him big house. And we not grudge of it. We are going to help you to achieve that. That is why we say education be free, health be free, and we must make the place secure so you can live and enjoy yourself.
This is the house, built on 3/4 of an acre, complete with stone-cut wall, in the exclusive Beverly Hills neighborhood just outside Kingston. It's a huge upgrade from where Jamaica's newest prime minister and then opposition leader Andrew Holness says he was born.
I was born in a 2-bedroom board house at 56 Cumberland Road in a Spanish town. My father is still a farmer and my mother is a retired civil servant.
Property records showed the Beverly Hills land was purchased by St. Lucian-based company AdMat Incorporated for $300,000 in 2011, 3 months before Holness became Prime Minister of Jamaica for the first time, and when he was Minister of Education. There's no mortgage listed. In a statement, Holness says he's a sole director of AdMat and a shareholder, along with his 2 sons, Adam and Matthew. Holness says he got the money from funds in his accounts at 2 of Jamaica's investment banks and used his savings, salary, loans, and credit from suppliers established through his wife, who is a real estate developer, to build the house, costing him approximately $52 million, or around $525,000 US. He says the St. Lucian structure was used for estate planning. His attorney, Patrick Bailey, says there's that, and the additional potential benefit of avoiding transfer taxes.
If the house at Beverly Hills is the only asset and he was selling it, he would simply sell the company, sell the shares. The company would have its shareholding transferred from him and his children to the new purchasers, whereas the title would remain unchanged because the new purchaser will be the owners of AdMat and be the owners of the property. So in that case, there's no transfer from one entity to another. So you save on transfer tax and stamp duties and those sorts of things.
Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says the leader of the country shouldn't be trying to avoid taxes.
Especially if you're a prime minister and you're telling your citizens that they need to conform to the regulatory environment that you have designed, that you do not think you can adhere to, because it is inimical to your interest to adhere to it, or inimical to the interest of your children's future to adhere to it, then there is a major, there's a major inconsistency there that you need to explain.
Join us in a partnership for prosperity. Let's change Jamaica for the better. Choose prosperity.
Does he own other entities in there, in AdMat?
In AdMat?
Yeah.
I think he has at least one other property in AdMat.
And where is that?
That is in somewhere in the Arcadia area, right?
And that's considered land or also?
No, it's an apartment. Actually, he's now in the process of selling that unit. He owes suppliers because suppliers gave him credit for the house he's building in Beverly Hills.
And the source of funds for that was what?
That one, I can't recall all of those details, but I seem to remember that he has always used the house that he lives in and get loans and that sort of thing.
We checked the title for the property where Bailey says both Holness and his wife lived at the time of our interview and found no additional loans or mortgages other than those originally taken out in 2002 when they bought the house for $7 million Jamaican dollars, around $144,000 US back then.
So you were satisfied then with the source of the funds in both cases?
Oh, absolutely. He saved in US stocks and amongst his portfolio. So he was saving because these are savings.
Is that savings from him alone or him and his wife?
I don't know that level of personal detail. That would be. I don't know that level.
Of what you know, is there any evidence?
I know of nothing. I know of nothing else that he owns in relation to AdMat. Okay. He currently owns rather.
We checked the title for the Acadia property and found that it was indeed purchased by the same St. Lucian company, ADMAT Incorporated, in 2008, again when Honus was Minister of Education. The price tag, 16 million Jamaican dollars, around 219,000 US back then, and again, no mortgage was listed. Further, we also checked whether ADMAT owned additional properties and found one more. A half-acre lot, also built in Beverly Hills on Wycliffe Close in February 2009, also when Honus was Minister of Education, price tag, around 15 million Jamaican dollars, almost 173,000 US dollars, and again, no mortgage listed.
People, wanna tell me why this man take 300% raise again? Can anybody tell me why they take 300% raise again? This man been rich before he turned prime minister. The man been wealthy before he turned prime minister. The man turned prime minister and still take why?
So you've never heard of this Wycliffe Close property before today?
Let me put it this way. I have never handled, and when I look at the transfer, I see the names of lawyers who I know. And he's entitled to have more than one lawyer. We all have to eat.
So all told, when it comes to properties, there's the Great House Boulevard home that Honus and his wife bought with a mortgage while Honus was a mere member of parliament. And in the 4 years he was Minister of Education, earning the equivalent of around 60,000 US dollars per year or 90,000 with allowances, there was the Arcadia apartment, no mortgage listed. The land at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills, no mortgage listed. The land for the Shenstone Beverly Hills house he's building, no mortgage listed. And around 525,000 US dollars spent building the house in the 3 years after Honus's Jamaica Labour Party lost the election in 2011.
People, when they hear the man rich, no mortgage listed. That means say him not paying a mortgage. Him pay cash to them and don't pay for them already. So the man have a whole property when pay for clean before him turn a prime minister. Let me go to this short break and I'll be right back.
You, the two daughters of Pernell Charles, Uno two is on a campaign for mash up the party because you know endorse some jankro who no mean the party no good and if you stop it.
Let's thank you guys. Welcome back.
Honus, a member of his team, said he wouldn't comment on the source of funds for any of his properties before the election, but even after, he didn't. He also said he would make his financial statement public at the end of March 2016, but he didn't. Despite several calls to Juliet Honus, a property developer, chartered accountant, and newly elected member of parliament, she didn't get back to us.
Get 0% APR on select 2024 Sierra.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is...
Thank you, guys.
Or 90,000 with allowances. There was the Arcadia apartment, no mortgage listed. The land at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills, no mortgage listed. The land for the Shenstone Beverly Hills house he's building, no mortgage listed. And around 525,000 US dollars spent building the house in the 3 years after Honus's Jamaica Labour Party lost the election in 2011. Honus, through a member of his team, said he wouldn't comment on the source of funds for any of his properties before the election, but even after, he didn't. He also said he would make his financial statement public at the end of March 2016, but he didn't. Despite several calls to Juliet Honus, a property developer, chartered accountant, and newly elected member of parliament, she didn't get back to us.
We will again reduce transfer taxes, stamp duties, and estate taxes.
What about property taxes?
Nobody pay. He has to pay property tax.
At the time of our initial checks in the 2 weeks before the election, the house in Beverly Hills had an outstanding balance since 2013 on the tax administration's website. The amount, about $174,000 or US $1,400 approximately. Property taxes on the Wycliffe Close land in Beverly Hills were listed as not having been paid since 2009, a total of about $175,000 or US around $1,400.
People, all this man I go like say, the Integrity Commissioner tell lie upon himself. See there, the man a long time, all of them for a long time, the man a do this. Zara Burton expose him, but it seems as if him can't stop them set him so.
And the Great House Boulevard home that he owned with his wife Juliette, that was listed as outstanding since 2014, owing Jamaicans $64,000 or about $526 US. We call the tax administration to confirm. Volume is 1118.
And you own it?
Yeah.
The amount is $64,000 outstanding and $50 for 2 years.
All in, Honus or his entities were listed at the time as owing almost 413,000 Jamaican dollars, around 3,400 US dollars. It wasn't clear if there were any amounts owing for the apartment at Arcadia Drive. Caroline Hay, former Deputy Director of Public Prosecution, says, in general, no leader should be backed upon their taxes. We did not ask her specifically about Honus.
No public official ought to be behind on their taxes. You are in a position when you're a public official in a position of trust, and one would imagine an example to the nation as to what values we want in positions of leadership.
Days after 18 Degrees North brought it to Honus's attention, and before the election, the tax administration's website reflected zero balances for the two Beverly Hills properties at Shenstone Drive and Wycliffe Close. However, taxes on the house he owns with his wife were still listed as owing as of our last check, March 18th, 2016, even as he became Prime Minister of Jamaica for a second time.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica.
Coming up on 18 Degrees North, too close for comfort? How Andrew Honus signed off on taxpayers' money for a contract to his associates. 18 Degrees North just uncovered a trail of property purchases linked to Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus. Now see how that trail led us down another path, that of government contracts awarded to his associates.
So,
About 20 million and 28 million. Lie. Me not take no salary increase. So my salary is what it was before. And I tell you something, I feel like just keep back to. Because he's a proud man, you know. Me don't like people tell lie for me.
All right, people, thank you. Let's get back.
Properties at Shenstone Drive and Wycliffe Close. However, taxes on the house he owns with his wife were still listed as owing as of our last check, March 18th, 2016, even as he became Prime Minister of Jamaica for a second time.
That I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica.
Coming up on 18 Degrees North, too close for comfort? How Andrew Honus signed off on taxpayers' money for a contract to his associates. 18 Degrees North just uncovered a trail of property purchases linked to Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus. Now see how that trail led us down another path, that of government contracts awarded to his associates.
Corruption will not be tolerated in this government.
The property at Wycliffe Close in Beverly Hills remains an open lot today. As it turns out, the owner, Andrew Honus's ADMAT Incorporated, applied to the National Environmental Planning Agency to build townhouses in 2010, but that application was turned down. Representing ADMAT in this application was one Robert Garvin.
And Robert Garvin is not a director in any way, shape, or form of ADMAT.
No, well, he's not.
But why would Robert Garvin's name then appear on an application to the land development?
Because he acting as agent is in the process.
Okay.
That's not unusual.
According to Companies Office records, Robert Garvin is or was a director of other entities affiliated with Andrew or Juliet Honus: Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited, Sunshine Mobile, West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited, Omega Bridge Finance, and the now removed Toledo Taxi Service.
Who is Robert Garvin?
Garvin?
Robert Garvin.
Never met the name, never heard the name. But I do remember Positive. But I did set a Positive Jamaica, I remember that.
Right, but he's one. Positive Jamaica is in part a director by Garvin.
I know he was a director of
what about the fact that Garvin used this address, 28 Her McKinley?
Because this is my address, it's precisely what I'm saying. You're at 28 Her McKinley.
I know, why Robert Garvin used it.
Because we set up the company here. Garvin, I'm not saying that. I don't remember the name.
Separately, Robert Garvin is also listed as the director of Westcon Construction, along with one Donovan Simpson. Garvin used the address 25 Dominica Drive while setting up Westcon, the same address he and Honus used when registering West Central St. Andrew Trust Limited. Government records show Westcon Construction as receiving 14 government contracts, totaling 28.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around $386,000. This was between 2006 and 2009, even as Honus or his wife shared directorships with Garvin on 4 entities. 12 of the 14 contracts were under the JLP government, with which Honus has a career-long affiliation. 9 of the 14 list 0 or only 1 tender. 10 of the 14 were granted by the Minister of Education when Andrew Honus was minister, and by the National Works Agency and Social Development Commission for work in Honus's constituency. Honus even instructed the Social Development Commission to pay Westcon Construction just under $1.5 million Jamaican dollars, or around US $21,000 back then. He signed the document himself. There was only one bidder for cleaning, bushing, and trimming of the roadways in Honus's constituency of West Central St. Andrew, and no procurement committee approval. Payment was requested by Honus December 20th, 2007, and paid promptly on the same day.
Hi, I'm Steve Palmer. I spent 34 years growing money.
Kind of lie. Oh, 20 million and 28 million. Lie. Me not take no salary increase.
Thank you, guys. Welcome back.
On the same day. When contacted in a general sense, the current Social Development Commission head, Dwayne Vernon, said, while not the norm, it is possible to have a request and payment on the same day, especially when there's a contract in place with stated payment dates. Vernon, who didn't address this contract specifically, also said, the SDC does not procure for constituencies. This is the prerogative of the MP and his or her project officer. Civil society activist Carol Narcisse says, awarding of government contracts in Jamaica has been a long-standing cause for concern.
When each side is in government, there are uncomfortable levels of awarding of contracts to persons who are either political supporters, campaign financiers, or other connected parties.
We asked Honus whether he declared his relationship with Garvin while contracts were being awarded to Westcon Construction, but he didn't get back to us. We called Garvin, but he said he couldn't talk at the time, and he didn't answer our text message. When contacted, Garvin's partner in Westcon Construction, Donovan Simpson, he tried to distance himself from the inner workings of the company. So you didn't benefit from these contracts, that's what you're saying? No. Even though his name is not on the filing, is Andrew Honus a part of this company?
No, not to my knowledge. No, man, he's not a part of it.
Do you know if Garvin is a friend of Andrew Honus?
Yes, yeah, man, they are friends. They are very close. Andrew went in politics, you know. I met him at Senegal's office because Robert and Sarah were very close.
Okay.
So the first time I saw Andrew is when Robert invited me to the show that I said the New Kingston.
We searched, but could find no record of Honus declaring his relationship with Robert Garvin or Donovan Simpson. And the Office of the Contractor General would only say that we should request an investigation, which we did. When asked in a general sense, and not about Honus specifically, Caroline Hayes says these kinds of relationships should be declared.
In the procurement rules and guidelines that I've read, there's been a concern about whether there is a connection either directly, meaning you have an interest in a company that's bidding for public assets and public benefit, or indirectly, meaning it's in the name of a wife, in the name of a girlfriend, in the name of a child, in the name of an associate. It's a duty of all staff and any other public officers and officials directly or indirectly involved in the procurement process, especially in the preparation of bidding documents, evaluation, contract negotiations, contract management, and payments, to declare any potential conflicts of interest.
Whether Honus declared his relationship with Garvin remains unclear. However, Bailey, his attorney, is adamant that all assets associated with Andrew Honus were declared.
Every case, everything that he has owned from the time that from even the time he set up ADMAT, going back to 2001, everything has been declared.
We checked with the Integrity Commission, but no one ever got back to us. Information submitted is usually confidential.
The law that governs it explicitly states that these declarations cannot be made public. And if they are made public, whoever makes them public is subject to a fine of over $1 million, right? These declarations of assets need to be brought under the ambit of the Access to Information Act so that we can request to see and be given or given a good reason why we can't be given.
In Jamaica, breaches of the rules governing the awarding of government contracts carry a possible fine of $1,000 or around $8 and or 3 months in prison. See what happens when we try to get answers from Andrew Honus on the campaign trail.
Can you give me a sense of who Robert Garvin is?
That's next on 18 Degrees North.
People.
Had tried a bunch of bad diets, little short-term
I hear
things.
man talk all kind of lie. Oh, 20 million and 28 million. Lie. Me not take no salary increase.
Welcome back, guys.
Jamaica's newest Prime Minister, Andrew Honus, may have wrested control from the People's National Party, in part because of his 10-point tax plan. During the election campaign, though, there were skeptics. Critics charged, how was he going to plug the millions in lost revenues in US dollar terms when his plan would essentially eliminate income tax on those earning the equivalent of around $12,000 or less? Honus's plan was to spur spending and generate more revenue from consumption tax while raising taxes on high-end earners. We caught up with Honus on the campaign trail. We asked him what else he had up his sleeve and why at the time was he listed as being behind on his property taxes. Where is the economy going? Have you done any analysis of your tax plan and what economic growth is going to look like in your first year?
I wouldn't want to give you a specific figure.
But your analysis must have produced something that is tangible for the people to understand.
Yeah, but I didn't say I would give you that figure.
But it has produced a figure.
Of course. Okay. Otherwise, why would we do the analysis?
Give me a general sense of where we have on the low end and the top end.
I would say to you that if you're going to talk about economic growth, you should be above 3%.
Okay, that's a fair statement to make. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the other taxes that you, tax incentives and lower rates. And
so
I think there was mention of some transfer taxes as well.
In general, we want to, our tax plan is to reduce transaction taxes. Part of economic growth is to get the velocity of transactions increasing. And particularly in construction and real estate, because those are major employment areas. So we will bring to the levels which we had them before, our transfer tax and stamp duties, and estate taxes as well.
You seem to don't like taxes too much because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a small government, free enterprise. I believe that markets work best and taxes are distortionate.
Okay. Is that why you didn't pay the property taxes on the home?
All my property taxes are paid.
On the THS website, when we did the valuation numbers for your properties, the outstanding taxes are there.
No, my taxes are paid.
When we looked, there was your Great House Boulevard property. There was your property that's owned by ADMAT, which you say you're sole director of. And then there's another property that we actually found under ADMAT as well, up at Wycliffe Close. All three were outstanding, and then we saw that at Wycliffe Close, taxes seem to have been outstanding since 2009. What about the other property though at Wycliffe Close?
That I would have to check on. I mean, that's been there for a little while, so I'll have to check on. But I don't want to distract from the message.
No, but you are the person that's saying that you don't necessarily love taxes, yeah?
Yeah.
And so you are the lead. You are a leader of this country, potentially the premier leader of this country come next week. And so I'm asking you the question, as the leader of a country, do you believe that your taxes should have been more up to date than the record reflects? Yeah.
What I'm saying to you, from my best recollection, I paid my taxes. Now, if it is that they are outstanding, it's not an issue to pay them.
Okay.
I'm not hiding that.
But ADMAT is designed for you to avoid potential estate taxes and transfer taxes.
No, it's designed for estate planning purposes.
For estate planning purposes, that means basically that you avoid some sort of taxes. And I'm saying, does it look good for a leader of a country?
I'm not clear that it's, when we set it up, it was never to avoid any kind of taxes. And it's not likely that I would be able to sell everything. It was set up merely as a way of holding assets. It's a holding company. That's it. But in any event, let's be clear. Any citizen of any country is permitted. It's not illegal.
Right.
To establish, and many persons have.
No doubt. I'm not talking about the legality. I'm more talking about, does it look good for a leader to be trying to set up their situation so that they avoid paying tax?
No. Any company can, I think, avoid being in a situation. Look, but my view on the matter is this: you should plan your estate and plan for taxes the best way possible.
You just said a while ago that you don't see a sense where you would be able to sell everything. What's everything? What's everything?
You mentioned two properties.
Right. Yeah. Here's Wycliffe Close, right, which is an open land right now.
Look, we'll talk again.
No, one thing I wanted to ask you about.
You've gone over the 10 minutes.
Hold on, Mr. Honest. Mr. Honest, I must ask you a question. Can you give me a sense of who Robert Garvin is?
He's the company secretary for the constellation.
What's your relationship with him? So this is where we bring 18 Degrees North.
So people, go check out 18 Degrees North. Zara Burton, she's doing a wonderful job over there. She was a long time the money I do it. It finished right on time to Producer Wayne supposed to coming up at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. I don't want to step on film think I know me like to watch Producer Wayne Global TV. Over there we I go see what Wayne I talk about. Let me see if my beat off tough and skin off of him today. Because me not talk about nothing. I know him and come with the surprise as always. Producer Wayne me I go right now. Let's go check him out, people. When I saw them people attack, you see the Prime Minister, a long time Prime Minister do it, not true. Respect Christopher Campbell. Respect Debbie Jervis, the moderator, Garfield Williams. Hey, enough respect, family. A country we are talking about now, you know. No, man, we're not playing no that video. This man, look, let me ask you a question. Would you guys want a thief to be a gate man? Would you want to be a thief to be a conductor? You want a thief to handle the money boy? So would you want a thief to be a finance minister? Argument done. Talk to you guys later. We don't want to step up and Producer Wayne time. It's 6 o'clock. in the dot. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. My name is Jamaican Carlos. I'm out.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. Calls for us to think and think deep.